Hello, family. Welcome to another session of Maths Fanatics 24/7. In this video, we are given the graphs of f of x and g of x. And by the look of things, ladies and gents, I already know that my f of x is the parabola in the turning point form. If you haven't watched all the videos, make sure you watch. You'll understand why I'm saying this is in the turning point form. And then this is the hyperbola, right? Perfect, because the x is the denominator. Perfect. Then I can see that, okay, the hyperbola here is plus 0, basically. My q is 0, right? Perfect. Then they say the axis of symmetry. Remember, axis of symmetry, it's x in TP, right? Of f is -1, right? Sharp. And then f of x and g of x meet at M. Intersect means they are equal at this point, right? Sharp. The length y equals to 2 also passes through M. So they gave you the y value of M, right? So, okay, let me write point M here. I don't know the x value, but I already know that, okay, the y value here is the same, is 2. Even if they didn't tell me, I was going to come here and see that, okay, this point here, the y value is 2, which means this line is 2 throughout, né? Which means every point that is going to be touched by this line will have a y value of 2. Okay, sharp. Then the first thing they want us to calculate there is the coordinates of M. Okay, so to get the coordinates of M, let's see how we're going to do that, right? Okay, we already have the x value on M. We just need the y. I mean, we already have the y value. We just need the x value, right? Okay, so let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to find M using the fact that the axis of symmetry means that the distance from here to that point, which is there, right, is the same as the distance from here to there, right? You see it? Because the axis of symmetry cuts the parabola into 2 equal parts, right? And then I see that, okay, this point here is basically the origin, which is 0 and 0. So which means from -1 to 0, I moved 1 unit, right? So I moved 1 unit that side. It means I must also move 1 unit this side. So from -1, if I subtract 1 here, I'm going to get -2, right? Which means my point M is -2 and 2. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to just erase this part here, just so that I still have a clean thin. Sharp. Perfect. And then we found our M now, which is there, right? And then now we can now answer B. So on B, they want us to find the equation of G. Okay. G of x, in the meantime, is this, right? It's A over X, right? Remember, this is the output, which is your Y. It's known, and then the input is also known, right? So we only have one unknown, which is A. And remember, I said if we have one unknown, we sub in a point. This is always our X. The first one is the X. The second one is the Y. So where I see Y, I'm going to put 2. So you put 2 there, and then equals to A. The X value is -2, right? And then I can easily multiply by -2 both sides so that this 2 can cancel. Then therefore, my A is going to be -4, right? Okay, so I can easily see that, okay, my G of x, right, is going to be -4 over x. Then I'm done with that question. So let's erase here to create space. Okay. And then now the third question, they want us to find f of x. Okay. So f of x, in the meantime, it's ax plus p to the power 2, right? Sharp. Usually it's always having a q here. This is the normal turning point form, right? Perfect. Now I'm going to substitute the turning point. Ne? This is the x value on the turning point. That is the y value on the turning point. Okay, perfect. And then I see that, okay, the turning point is basically -1, which is my x because it lies on the x-axis, and then 0, which is my y because it's on the x-intercept. Remember, for x-intercept, you make y 0. Sharp, let's substitute now. So I'm going to have f of x equals to ax. Ladies and gents, this is very important. Ne? If you have a plus here, in here you put a minus. If you have a minus here on the x, just like in this case, our x is a minus, you're going to put a plus. Ne? You are always going to put the opposite sign of what you have on a point there. And if you have this, when you write a point, it's going to be a negative. So remember, the x on the point and on the equation are always opposite sign. Ne? Then you have that, right? And then our q in this case is 0. That's why they didn't show q there, because q is 0. Does make sense? Perfect. And then now I have my output. I have my input, which is there, right? I can easily find what a is because that is the only unknown. Remember, if you have the only unknown, you substitute a point. Ne? So I can see that, okay, my y value is 2. My x value is -2. And then I'm going to have +1 squared. This gives me -1 squared. You're still going to get a 1. So I have 2 equals to a times 1 there, which is therefore a equals to 2. Right. And then you can easily see that, okay, your f of x is basically this. It's your a is 2, and then you have x is going to be +1 squared, right? But your a is 2, so you put 2 where the a is. Ne? You put 2 there. Then that's the equation of f of x. Okay. Perfect. And then now they want us to find the values of x for which f is smaller than g. Ne? Okay, sharp. Let me highlight them to see the difference. Okay. F of x is this one. I'm gonna make it blue. I mean purple, ne? Is this graph here. Right? This is your f of x, right? Sharp. Okay, and then the black one will be our g of x, ne? So ladies and gents, to answer this question successfully, ne, this is what you need. You always need point of intersect. You also need as x asymptotes, ne? X asymptotes. To answer the question where they're comparing them with smaller than or bigger than signs, ne? These are the two things you are going to look for. You go to the point of intersects, you draw a line. Just you take your ruler, you draw your line. I had already drawn it in advance, ne? So you draw a line because they meet there, which is the point of intersection. You draw a line with a ruler, right? And then I see that, okay, this is a hyperbola. It has an x asymptote of x equals to 0. If you were to find the asymptote, they will say x equals to 0, right? Then I know that, okay, line x equals to 0 is here on the y-intercept, right? So I drew another line then, sharp. And then now you have 3 rooms. Ne? The first room is this, the second room is that, the third room is this one. So these lines that you drew, these lines makes you rooms. Ne? Sharp. Now let's see where our solutions are. Ne? Sharp. I'll use A for above and B for below. Ne? Okay, let's use a different color for the purpose of this. Okay, I'll take a red color in this case. Ne? Sharp. So this question here, they say F must be smaller, so it must be below. And then this one must be bigger, so it must be above. Ne? Sharp. So okay, I see I'm looking for where F is below only. right? Where F is below. So here F is above. I'm looking at F, it's above this one on room 1. This one is below, you see? And then on room 2, right? This one is above, F is below. Ne? Sharp. And then on this room, the third room, F is above. Do you see? This one is below. You see? Sharp. And then now you can easily see that, okay, room 1 is out because we're looking for F to be B. Ne? Room 2 is in, room 3 is out, right? So it means our solution will be from here to there. You see, from where the second room starts to where it ends. Ne? And then, okay, I know that, okay, the X value here, so the answer to D will be like this, right? Okay, let me make my pen much bigger. So I know that, okay, it starts from -2, but -2 will be smaller than this X values here, right? So -2 is smaller than X, but these values are going to be smaller than the X value here, which is 0. Remember, this is X equals to 0, is the Y intercept. Ne? So X values are smaller than 0. And then that's your solution for a D. Just use the room method. Ne? I find it very easy. You divide the point of intercepts with a line and the asymptotes. And then you check for where you have F being below, which is represented by B. Perfect. Then now they want us to find the range of F. F is the parabola. We're looking at the Y values, right? Okay, so the range, you always go to the turning point. So we have a graph facing up like this, in this case. And then I can see that, okay, my Y value on the turning point is 0, right? So you always use your Y value on the turning point to find the range. So you write your Y value on the turning point, right? And then you ask yourself, we have this Y values here, right? Going up. This graph is going up. Are these Y values bigger or smaller than this one? Since they are above it, they are bigger. So the Y values are bigger or equals to that one. Then that's your range for F of X. And ladies and gents, that's it about this video. If it was helpful, please don't forget to hit the subscription button and to share with family and friend. I will see you soon in the next video. A luta continua. Tango.